All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us to our first session of the Parent Seminary. Sorry, I'm going to start over. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for our RSD Parent Seminar. We are starting now at 12:30 for our English session. And as a reminder, there will be a Spanish session at 4:30 this afternoon. Our first session is talking about what our children are learning and how we can decide that. I am Arlene Pimentel. I am the district-wide family engagement facilitator. And with me is Dr. Lindsay Stock, who's the director of curriculum and instruction.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
So the RSD parent seminars came to be due to responses from parents in the parent training needs survey that we give every year. This survey is really helpful for us because it helps us plan for future years. And we just closed the survey for this school year. So the next survey will be done next school year. But due to those surveys and the responses that we received, this seminar was created. It will be one training or informational session a month for the rest of the school year. We're hoping that these seminars that will discuss different topics will help parents connect to the district and provide resources for you as a parent or for a family member of students in the Reading School District. The following seminars will cover winter activities and how to stay active with your children during the winter. We will have a representative from the state talk about the PA 529 College and Career Savings Program, which is really exciting. And if you don't know about it, that's going to be a really important session to attend. And then our February and January sessions will be in person, and we will be at the Reading Public Library branches. And we're going to be talking about the technology that we use in the district, such as Home Access Center and a few others that will help you with your child at home. March will be another virtual session where we'll be talking about the special education department, how it works, and what you need to know as a parent. In April, we'll have another virtual session to talk about all the testing that's done at the district, either state testing or district testing, how you can read those results, and how you can continue to help your child at home based on the results of those tests. And our final session for this school year will be in May, and it's all about summer. So how to prepare for the summer, what you need to know, what your children can do. So we will have all that information for you coming up. And if you do have any questions about any of those sessions, you can reach out to me at 484-258-7000, extension 10129. And the dates for all of the sessions will be provided to families by the end of this month. So look out for that. And that way you can have it in your calendar. So today, like I mentioned, we will be talking about our teaching and learning, our curriculum and instruction department here at the Reading School District. And just a little background information, the Reading School District did a comprehensive plan. The teaching and learning department did a comprehensive plan to align to our district strategic plan, which, as some of you might remember, we started that a couple of years ago with listening sessions. So we listened to our community partners, our families, consultants, and we even had listening sessions with students and staff. And those helped us to shape the goals for the district. And then those goals help to create the action plan for each of the department. So the plan is effective August 2024 through July 2027. And it's going to help us move forward as a district. So Dr. Stock is going to be talking a little bit about what the goals are for her department in a little bit. But just so you know, you can find this information on our website. If you go under teaching and learning or academics as an overview, you can find this information there. But these are some of the district-wide goals that we have in our comprehensive plan. And I think I wanted to mention this because it's really important to note that the first two are academic goals. One is increasing the number of students scoring proficient or advanced on the English language arts state exams. And right now in 2023, our past school year, we had 20.9% So we do want to bump that up. And then also in math, we were last year at 8%, and we want to change that to be up to 38.3%. So those are our district goals that apply to the conversation that we're going to have today. And on the side, our action plan, you can see some of the things that were put in there that we're going to be working on to help us reach those goals. So I am going to pass it off to Dr. Stock so that she can talk a little bit more about what her department is doing and how it relates to our action plan.
Thank you so much. So we are really excited about the goals that we have set for the comprehensive plan moving forward. We know that we do incredible things to grow our students here in the Reading School District, but one of the things that we definitely need to focus on is making sure that all of our students have the capacity to reach grade level standards and to master those standards. So one of the things that we really are focusing on is professional development for all of our staff members, really focusing on the most impactful moves that teachers can make in classrooms to ensure that students are both provided access to grade level content and then also provided with some instruction directly in areas of need that we are able to identify from our newly implemented robust data system that we are bringing on board this school year. So you may have seen a video that we put out from the district from me in September talking about the fact that our students are being assessed from pre-K to 12 here in the district in both the areas of literacy, math, and also in science. So based on that data, we are really hitting the ground running this school year and placing students in situations where they have access to great interventions that are research-based, that are going to be able to fulfill some of those skill gaps that we're seeing to ensure that they're able to eventually get to a place where they're reaching their grade level content. So you can go to the next slide. So when we benchmark our students, like I said, we're doing this in a K to 12 approach and utilizing some different assessments at the elementary level, but then we also have something called our benchmarks through our Linkit system that we've brought on board this year. You will have or should have at this point received a letter from your child's school that outlines their results in their literacy and math in benchmarking assessments. And that tells you some information, some really good data on your child. It tells you based on their grade level this year, whether or not your child is on grade level, which would be, the benchmark, if they are below the benchmark, if they are well below the benchmark, or if they are above the benchmark, which means they are even higher than grade level. So depending on the results of those assessments, that's how our teams and our schools created plans to intervene during times that are developed in our schedules to give kids exactly what they need. So the screen that you see now, there's an example of a letter that we created together to give parents really good information about our students. So you can see on the letter side, there are all the assessments listed out that a fourth grader would be taking. Obviously, depending on the grade level, that changes the different types of assessments that we're giving, but you will see consistently that Linkit is our benchmark, and that is going to be listed on that assessment, and it tells you whether your student is on benchmark, above benchmark, et cetera, like I had mentioned. What you see on the right-hand side of the screen is what we as educators see in our benchmarking system. So this is a student's data that we pulled up from September. We know that this child is in third grade. They took the ELA benchmark, and we know that this child is at the basic level of proficiency right now at the beginning of third grade. The beautiful thing about the data that we're receiving from our new assessment and benchmarking system is what you really see towards the right-hand side. This is the drill down data that our teachers and our administrators need to properly place kids both during core or their homeroom teachers class and also during intervention time. So this tells us really specific data about how this child is progressing through their academic journey. You can see there are some really good things happening here for this student. This child is killing it with cause and effect. They're doing an amazing job with point of view. They have some areas to work on too. So we know during both their core time with their homeroom teacher and during intervention that we need to make sure that we're focusing on the skill of main idea, that we're bolstering that child's vocabulary, that we're giving them opportunities to learn about literary texts. So we're getting them deeply enriched into literature. So this gives us that specific data that we need to be able to move our students to grade level proficiency. What's really going to be great about this is that if you do come to parent conferences next month, your students' teacher will be able to share this level of specificity of data with you so that you can kind of see how are there things that you could be working on with them at home in a partnership with us as we continue to intervene. So as you can see, this kind of outlines for you, how does this structure work for intervention? So I want you to think about your child's day in kind of two ways. Your child has a normal schedule, regardless of what grade level they're in, where they're going to their homeroom teacher's class in elementary, where they're getting their math instruction, their English instruction, social studies, science, etc., at their grade level. So if they're in grade 3, they're getting the grade level instruction. Same thing in middle school. I go to my middle school, I show up, I go to my math class, my English class, my science class, my social studies class, etc. At the high school, same idea. I go to my English 9 class, I go to social studies, I go to my bio or ecology class, and then I go about my day. But what we have done at every level now for the first time in all of our schools is that we have created opportunities where students are also getting what's called intervention. I'd mentioned this before, where instruction stops at the grade level, and then we are able to backfill some of those skill gaps that we're seeing. In elementary, this has been going on for years. It's something called acceleration block. In middle school, this has also been a structure we've had in place for quite some time called RAY, which is an opportunity for students to be intervened. And it's an all hands on deck approach. We're really proud for the first time doing this at Reading High. There's obviously a lot of logistics that are going into making sure that we are able to run what we are calling armor block. And essentially students are moving into a shield based on their data, whether they get a math intervention and math and a literacy intervention, a social emotional learning intervention, or for any student who is on grade level or above, they are receiving what we're calling an enrichment. So it's an opportunity to participate in an activity like a community service project, things of that nature. So every student is able to get what they need in these structures. So there is, like I said, an all hands on deck approach, pre-K to 12 in this endeavor for us. So we are making sure that the classroom teachers have been trained in these really robust interventions that are research based, that are top of the line, making sure that we're getting kids exactly what they need. Our ESL teachers, our special education teachers, our specialists are all involved, our health and PE teachers, our art teachers, music teachers, etc. Everyone is involved in meeting students during intervention time, building relationships with them, and providing interventions. We also have our student services teams deeply involved in this process as well, because we know that sometimes students struggle academically because of the barriers that they're facing in a social emotional world. So we need to make sure that if a student can't get to that learning piece quite yet because they're dealing with some trauma, they're dealing with challenges outside of the school day, they're dealing with some situations that they need some explicit skills in that aren't academic, we're also addressing those needs, and that's why everybody is involved in this process. So that is really kind of an overview of how we are addressing both the grade level content and curriculum here in the district, and then also based on the data for all of our students here, we are addressing those skills gaps. The other thing that we're really excited to share with everyone is that we are creating and in the process of developing a brand new curriculum website. One of the most important things that we think we can do for families is to make sure that on any given day, you know what your child is learning in school, so that when they come home from school, you can engage them in conversations to say, hey, I know you're learning about this parts of a cell right now. Let's talk about that. You can talk about it over dinner. You can have that conversation in the car. Any of those moments where you're able to have teachable conversations with your child are really important, but it's hard for you to do that if we don't share with you what it is that your children are learning in every level of their journey here in RSD. So if Arlene clicks on that link, what she's going to show you, and this is a different school district, but we are creating our own that's that's going to have all of our badging, all of our students' pictures, and all of our curriculum located. Starting rollout in January, February, we'll be sending out a press release and certainly sharing everyone the information. But right on our RSD website, there will be a link to the curriculum website, and it will look very similar to this site. So you'll be able to go subject by subject. So if you go and click on English Language Arts, as Arlene is doing, it'll show you all the grades. Say you click on 8th grade or any grade, it doesn't matter. You'll be able to see some really beautiful information. So we know all the units of studies that we're learning in 8th grade English Language Arts. We know we're talking about empathy. We know we're talking about memoir writing. Again, really rich opportunities for you to connect with your child about what it is that they're learning in class. We're going to get really deep into it for families so that you can see what are the expected learning targets for our students. What should they leave 8th grade ELA having gained? So we believe that clarity and transparency are key here so that we are partnering with families in the learning journey of their students. We're also going to have some philosophy statements on there. So if you ever wonder, what does RSD believe about social studies instruction? What do they value about math? Those types of things will also be on this website. So we're really excited to roll this out to families. That way you have direct access right at your fingertips for everything your child is learning in school. More to come on that, but like I said, a rollout we're looking for, about January or February.
Thank you, Dr. Stock. That was just, like I said, a brief overview of what the department is doing and how important these tests were last month, and they will continue. There's going to be a second round, right, Dr. Stock?
Yeah, actually, I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you. So that, this is not something that we can just do once in September and be done with. We are going to have 3 rounds of this assessment and benchmarking. So your child will be receiving a benchmark again in January to see their progress and for us to celebrate the inevitable progress that our students are going to make because our staff members are working so incredibly hard to support our kids. So you'll hear more about that from us in January. And then you're also going to hear about it, around March, April prior to state testing. So that we're able to do some predictions of how we think our students are going to perform on our state test, PSSAA Keystone, also our SATs, college board exams for AP, et cetera. So this is a really exciting time. Really, really rich information about our students' progress academically. And you can always reach out to my office. It's just stockel@readingsd.org. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. And this is our job. So we're happy to share whatever you would like to know about. Your building principals and admin teams also have been deeply involved in this process of bringing this to the district. They are well versed as well. They're happy to answer questions that you have and, making sure that you know where your student is at in this process. So
Thank you. If you do have any questions, there is a QR code at the end of this presentation where we will be taking questions and then we will be responding to those questions as they come up. But we do also want to let you know there are some things coming up for the district. This week on Thursday, we have our Hispanic Heritage Month Showcase at the high school. That's going to be at 5 p.m. So please stop by with your student and see all the wonderful work that our buildings did. So each school will have a table and they will be able to share out the information that they did during the Hispanic Heritage Month. Then we have November 19th is our Superintendent Community Forum number 2. That's going to be over at Northwest Middle School, and that is at 6 p.m. This is an opportunity for Dr. Murray, our superintendent, to do a presentation on everything that's going on in the district, all the different programs that we have, all the construction, everything, really. It was a great presentation, great information for our families. So please stop by, and that is, again, November 19th over at Northwest Middle School at 6 p.m. I also have the dates for each of our Quadrant Parent Network meetings. If you have any questions about those, please contact your building's POA, Parent Outreach Assistant, or your building principal, and they can tell you the time and the location for those meetings. And again, thank you so much for listening to our first presentation for the parent seminar. We will continue to do these once a month until the end of this school year, and hopefully if it goes really well, we'll continue it into later years as well. We hope that this was information that was important and helpful for you. And again, if you have any questions, here is a QR code that you can scan, and it would help us if you just scan it right now. There is a little evaluation there. It's only 3 questions, and we look forward to hearing your questions and feedback. So if you do have any other questions that you want to reach us directly, I did put our the information on there for me. If you can give me a call, and then we can make sure that you are connected with the right resources. Thank you again. I'll leave you with this QR code. Take care, and we'll see you again next month.